What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I wanted to talk about liquidity pools and why I think the price of SPS can be super positive. Hopefully, if we can get the price of SPS up, I should say, it can be a super positive thing for providing liquidity as well as creating much larger on-ramps for the game. Now, if you've been watching a lot of the live streams or hearing some of the videos lately, you know that bringing money into the game can be really difficult. And I know the team is going for this whole frictionless crypto, and the credits are a fantastic way. But when it comes to like big whales in crypto, having liquidity pools that don't move or have crazy amounts of slippage is going to be one of the key ways. Obviously, validators is something that we are all looking forward to, but for now, we do have LPs, and the thing that we need to realize with this is that since the reward token is SPS, there is so much value and so much attractiveness that can come into the ecosystem, so much incentive to come into the ecosystem if we can get the price of SPS up. Now, obviously, it goes without saying that if the price of SPS goes up or the value of SPS goes up over time, it's going to be good for the entire ecosystem, right? From a playing standpoint, people will want to come in and start earning more SPS. People will want to hold validator node licenses. Those will start flying off the shelves if SPS goes up, and therefore they'll be able to secure the network. But I just wanted to focus specifically on liquidity pools because this is one of the biggest ways we can onboard current crypto whales, current and future crypto whales, I suppose. So when looking at this, a brief walk down memory lane, we changed the claimable rewards here to only SPS back in November. Now, these went live in July of last year, and we were paying out both SPS and DEC, and it was about 70 million DEC we were printing a month. And, after sometime in November, I believe, is when we decided to shut that off and then switch out and have SPS for everything. So that's why SPS is so important, because the value is the reward token, not just for the game, but for the liquidity pools as well. So I'm going to focus in first on the SPS pairings. So specifically SPS Hive, SPS BNB, and SPS ETH. And, I'm not going to get into BNB as much right now. Obviously, there's a lot of fun with the whole Binance thing, but you can treat it similarly to both swap.hive and ETH as kind of like the main token on its respective chain, the BNB chain. So when we're looking here, if you want to hold SPS, if you're bullish on SPS, and then you want to pair it with something that you're bullish on as well, maybe you're bullish on Hive, maybe you're bullish on BNB, a lot of people I know are bullish on Ethereum, you can pair those together for the long run and earn 50% yield on Hive, 47% yield on BNB, and a 41% yield on Ethereum. And so, that's actually pretty good compared to everything else right now. And obviously with SPS being so low, SPS being low and Ethereum being somewhat low, obviously we're not at all-time highs right now. So there's definitely incentive there, but it's not quite enough, right? I would think that 40% is pretty good, but it's crypto and we're all degens, so everybody loves to chase the higher, usually triple-digit yields. So here's the thing, SPS currently is at about, it's going back and forth between 2.5 to 3 cents, right? We haven't really crossed 3 cents yet, maybe 2.5 to 2.8 cents. And so again, I'm not saying that we're going to get there overnight, but I'm just trying to point out that if SPS did a 3x, first of all, that we would be up to 8 cents. So a 3x or 300% gain or 200% gain right there will be massive, but we would still be like over 90% down from our all-time highs. But what would that do to the yields? Well, all of a sudden you'd have SPS and swap.hive paying out 150%. You'd have the ETH one paying out, 125, maybe 130%. And similarly with the BNB chain, right? Or SPS BNB. So you can see that immediately those yields become that much juicier. And we get into this kind of virtual hype cycle where it's like, wait, okay, now I want to provide more liquidity because the yields are going up. So therefore SPS as a pair becomes more, desirable. Now we saw this a little bit last year when we went from the end of the airdrop in July to the Rift Watcher sale in September. And of course, the Rift Watcher sale was a pretty big deal and everybody wanted to get as many Rift Watcher packs on the pre-sale as possible. But during that time, we also saw massive yields on the SPS, on the LPs. And so I do believe that it wasn't just Rift Watchers at the time. It wasn't just the hype cycle of all the releases and the pre-sales that they had, but I do think that a good part of it was the yields that we were showing at that time, which were in the multi-100%. So obviously, for us to get back up there, SPS would have to do multiples from here. But I kind of keep targeting, and again, this is not a price prediction. I'm just trying to put it out there as like easy math, right? If we were to 3x the yield, 3x the value of the token, that would be anywhere between like 7 to 8 cents, right? So if we were to do that, the nice thing is that we would essentially be able to get triple digit yields on these, which would not only incentivize more liquidity to come in, but it would incentivize people to probably bring more money into the game itself. Because with that, with more liquidity means less slippage overall. So, this is why it's such a big part for me. And I mean, obviously we're in a very like chicken and the egg problem right now of what comes first, because we need those yields to be high, but in order for those yields to be high, we need SPS to be high. But in order for SPS to be high, we want the yields to be, so we're kind of going back and forth here. Obviously, we have this whole, I'm going to say it again, the buzzword flywheel effect that could potentially go into effect in Q2. Again, not to the moon, but if we need to start burning SPS and there is a significant demand for SPS, I do think it's possible that we tick up a couple of cents. And the thing is, a couple of cents could be a 2x because we're below 3 cents, right? So even if we jump up to 5-6 cents, that's like a 2x right there. You jump up to 8-9 cents, and all of a sudden, we're off to the races in a way, right? But again, I do think that could be something very positive. Now, just quickly looking at the DEC. The DEC pools. So you had DAI DEC and then DEC BUSD. These were the ones, and actually DEC swap.hive, but I want to look at DEC DAI and DEC BUSD. These were the ones that were paying out DEC specifically before and got swapped over. So their yields took actually a decent hit. And so ultimately, these were paying in like the 30-40% before, but once they got switched to SPS and then SPS started falling in value, we're looking at like 14 and 16%. And the best thing, people always ask like, oh, what's your favorite LP? And again, this is not financial advice, but you're asking me what my favorite is. So I'm going to tell you what my favorite is and why it's my favorite. But I do like the DEC, the stablecoin pools essentially, right? So DEC DAI and DEC BUSD, because DEC is supposed to be the stablecoin of the Splinterlands ecosystem. But right now we're actually 25-ish% below peg. So there's significant upside. And then the pairings, BUSD and DAI, are relatively, right, in crypto terms, safe. So, take that all with a grain of salt. But my point being is that, like, if you have two stable coins, then your value stays kind of stable and you get these double-digit yields here, right, 14 and 16%. But once again, we start talking about SPS increasing in value, doing a 2-3x, and these will start to be closer to 40-50%, right? And so, again, in my opinion, we need it all across the board. Obviously, SPS going up means great things for the ecosystem, but specifically in terms of getting more whale interest, getting more big money interest into the game, not just because of the incentive to come in, but then also to actually provide that, and for people then to come in and look and say, whoa, there's a ton of liquidity here. I can bring $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 into the game, and I'm not gonna move the price like a couple of percentage points, because then I lose out. So hopefully we can get there. Obviously, I'm excited for Q2 and beyond, and I do think that hopefully, we're in a place where we've either bottomed out or we're just going to go sideways for a while as the market sort of figures itself out. So if we can do that, the team can continue delivering like they are, and we start to get more and more of these syncs, more and more DEC burned, and then SPS burned for that DEC. Well, we may start to see small tick-ups here and there, which could do a lot for the APRs. And then, of course, that kind of virtuous cycle where APRs go up, more money comes in, blah, yada, yada, yada. So that's all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you have any ideas for this, obviously we can change anything due to proposal, but I'm curious to know how you've been looking at LPs, if you're involved, if you're not. But I will catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.